Okay, this was last Friday. We got a call from my brother. He told me, he said, I had to call the ambulance on Mom, my mother. I said, what's wrong? He said she was having a lot of pain in her knee. And it was excruciating, so my brother called the ambulance because she couldn't walk. So the ambulance took her to the hospital. And I was on the phone talking with Apostle, health guy. And he just said, the Lord's going to anoint your hands. When you pray for her, something's going to happen, and it's going to be good. And so when I got to the hospital, I drove down to Columbus, Georgia. And I remember what the Apostle said. And I'm looking at her knee. Her knee was probably twice the size of a normal knee. It was just really swollen. And she had knee surgery back in October. So we think that maybe there was some infection from the knee from that surgery. And so her knee was just huge. And she was in a lot of pain. And it is just hard to see your mother in pain. You guys know what I'm talking about? To watch your mother go through pain. They gave her morphine and that didn't even kick in. So I laid my hands on her knee and I started praying against that inflammation, against the swelling. And I was just praying and I just felt, and that's like I felt Jesus right behind me. And like his hands was going on top of my hand.
Whoa.
That's the vision that I got.
Whoa.
And as I'm praying for her, and within 3 hours, that swelling went completely down. She would release that knee. And there was no inflammation. And the doctors kind of scratched their head and said, well, maybe it was the side effects of some medication. These medications you take nowadays got some crazy side effects, some of them. And there was something, apparently she was on a, I don't want to say it's a drug. But anyway, she was on a blood thinner. And apparently this particular blood thinner was not a good blood thinner. And so somehow the fluid got in her knee and caused all that. But all that went down and she's doing fine. She's walking great, so give God the glory.
Amen.
Amen. So when you know someone in your family or somebody that needs prayer, just believe.
Yes.
Amen.
Believe. Just see God with you.
Amen.
And just pray and with belief.
Absolutely.
And then watch to see what he does. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Hello, everybody. Glad y'all could be here. Glad y'all could make it. Been out for a little bit, been sick here lately, so you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little bit slow. But I wanted to give a testimony. I had recently gone down to Florida because there were some people that I know that wanted ministry in Panama City. And I just wanted to tell, there's a lot of things that happened there, but I wanted to share this one particular story, this divine appointment. And I had ministered with these people. I was finishing up around 10 o'clock at night in Panama City Beach. And on the way out, I noticed my cell phone battery had single-digit power left. It was like 5-6%. And so I'm like, well, I'll just plug it up in the car. No big deal. So I leave and I drive to someplace like an hour away out of Panama City and Panama City Beach. And if anyone knows that area, there's not much there. Yeah, you know, exactly. And so I plug up my phone and it's not charging. And I'm just like, and I don't know the area, and so my GPS is gone. So I'm driving, and I'm just like, okay, this isn't working. And so I'm like, well, I'll go as far as I can. So I drive for a while, and I'm like, well, maybe if I turn the phone off and pull over the road and charge it, maybe. No, that didn't work. So it's like, this is right before New Year's, and a lot of people have their Christmas decorations up. You know, you're driving by, you're seeing Santa and the reindeers and stuff and lit up, and you're seeing churches, you know, just that are just out there. And I have to be honest, this thought went through my head. I'm like, do I go unplug Santa from someone's yard? You know, like, I don't want little Billy to start crying, you know, because I'm stealing power from this house. Or do I go up to this church and just see if there's an outlet on the outside and plug my phone up in there? But I don't want to be that guy in jail. It's like, hey, what are you in for? I'm in for armed robbery. I'm in for this. And what did you do? Well, I stole electricity from a church. And I didn't want to be that guy. And so I'm just like, really? Is this really going on? And so I'm just like, okay, just keep driving. At least I had gas. And so I'm driving, and I come upon this lone gas station, and I ask the lady, hey, can I use your electricity? Which she says, you know, yes. And so I plug it in. So I'm like, well, no, you're here. You might as well start praying for people. You know, why not? And so I started talking to the lady at the cashier register. And, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, do you need prayer? She's like, well, everyone needs prayer. I'm like, well, cool, good. I'm like, you know, do you believe in Jesus? And she's kind of like, meh. And I'm like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. And so I start telling her, you know, about what I do and stuff and whatever. Ask her if she has any problems, and she starts opening up and starts telling me about her life. Now, mind you, we're doing this, and every 4 minutes or 5 minutes, someone's coming into the place to get gas or whatever, so I'm having to stop and take breaks and talk to this lady. Well, she starts sharing stuff with me, you know, we're kind of bonding, I guess. And she's like, I'm bipolar, I'm schizophrenic, you know, I'm kind of all this stuff. Well, I'm like, well, let's start praying. Let's start seeing what we can do. And so, so we prayed. We got some stuff broken off. We didn't have the time, and I didn't want to, you know, again, she was working. And so I at least introduced her to the concept of deliverance. And she was like, well, this makes sense. This kind of, what you're telling me is kind of, it would explain a lot of things. And so it was just a divine appointment. It was just a divine appointment. And so, as I was saying before, I had left Panama City, and sometimes when I leave Florida, it seems like I seem to get attacked by witches. I think part of the reason why I ended up in the hospital, some of it was my own doing. I think I opened up a door that allowed them to attack me. But anyways, you know, sometimes the enemy does get his way, but overall, I know, you know, Jesus, Yeshua's in control, and I just praise him. But anyways, thank you for hearing me out. So.
Amen.
Amen.